Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Game 6, a 5-1 victory for the Oilers over the Canucks. And with that in mind, we bring in former National Hockey League goaltender John Garrett. Cheech, what'd you think? How you doing, first of all?
I'm well. And congratulations again, Donnie. I saw highlights of the festivities, and there you were.
Oh,
well deserved.
It was just a wonderful night, and I can't thank the people at the BC Sports Hall of Fame enough, or the people at Czech for giving me the next morning off.
Yes, he got the day off, John.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
Yes, I had to work with Ryan. There you go.
There you go.
My condolences and apologies.
You were talking about the goaltending, and Rick, you and I were talking about it on Friday that with Ryan about if they started Stuart Skinner, how nervous he would be, and they should try and take advantage of it. Well, 9 shots after 2 periods on a guy. They weren't watching the Zadorov goal from before. I would have shot from everywhere. You know that he's going to be nervous. He's back in. He's playing at home, an elimination game. Put some pressure on him. He was okay. He didn't have to be great. I thought the best save he made was on Quinn Hughes on a wrist shot. He got his blocker on it and tipped it wide. But he didn't have to do much. Canucks had a flurry at about the 8-minute left mark, the 12-minute mark of the third period, and they got some shots then, but too little, too late. I thought they would have thrown everything just from everywhere at Stuart Skinner, but they didn't. And you talked about the power play and 56 seconds, and they took the time out, which I thought, oh, this is great. Mm-hmm. The big guys had just had a shift, and Rick called a timeout, and I thought, well, what a good strategy that was. And they just couldn't generate anything. And Donnie, you were talking about the Oilers, and it seems like McDavid and Draisaitl are looking for each other all the time.
Yes.
And the Canucks have figured that out, and intercepting those cross-ice passes and getting in the way, and they're hesitating. And the Oilers power play, they had a 44-second 5-on-3, and they didn't score. And usually that means that you're going to lose a game, but the Canucks just didn't generate. And we just sang the praises of JT Miller after Game 4. He was such a dominant force. He was so good. But in this game, not very good. -3, below 500 in the faceoff circle. Only had a couple of shots on net. He just wasn't as good. And McDavid was. And I think that's one of the things is the star player, you knew he wasn't going to stay off the board for that long. And he had 3 assists. And the one goal, where Carson Soucy's coming back, the Nugent Hopkins goal was one that everybody takes a man, but McDavid goes wide on Tyler Myers. He's on the backhand. Now Soucy has his man. You can see Blueger picks up Hyman. He has his man, but Carson Soucy is in behind Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and he's got time. He's in front of him there, in front of him, and then he gets behind him. Nugent-Hopkins just slides in front of him, and Carson Soucy doesn't take the stick. And it was the Canucks goal. You look at Darnell Nurse and the way Darnell Nurse played the Canucks goal. It was, and you don't like to pay a 5-1 win. Why are you picking on Darnell Nurse? But what have the Canucks scored 18 goals, and he's been on for 11 of them? You get to the point where you have to take advantage of poor play from the opposition, and the Oilers let Nils Höglander go to the front of the net. Nice play by Elias on that one, but Darnell Nurse, he's there. Okay, now you're just standing around, and he leaves. He just, Kevin Bieksa was talking about protect the house, and Darnell Nurse, he's going out the back door. He's not protecting the house at all. He's going out on the porch to have a beer. Stay in the middle there, come on. And the Canucks were guilty of that. I thought Carson Soucy on the Nugent-Hopkins goal, but there was another one where Suter goes out to block a shot, the Bouchard goal. And they were kind of cutting up Artur Silovs on that one. And I'm thinking, well, Suter's a high screen, and there's no way that Silov sees it. It comes off the stick, and Suter's there, but he's not there. You can see he kind of slides by. He's not quite in the shooting lane as he should be, and it goes by him and then by Silovs. Now watch this shot, and you can see Suter's kind of there, but he's not. And then by the time Silovs picks it up, there he is right there. And it almost got it.
Yep.
Posted in, great shot. But if you're going out to block it, make sure you get it. And the Canucks just didn't execute very well. The Oilers looked like the better team, but they looked in the first period, I thought, and Rick, you talked about the first two power plays, and see who the penalties were against.
Yeah.
Because you could see the Oilers were fired up, and Draisaitl, the first shift, was all over the place. So he takes a stupid penalty.
Yep.
And then McDavid takes a unnecessary penalty. So the two stars are off, and the Canucks couldn't make it count.
We should mention with that Miller line with Besser and Suter, a collective -7, no points. Hey, John, did you understand Chris Knobloch's thinking starting Stuart Skinner after his shaky start to this series? Calvin Pickard looked just fine.
Yeah, he did. He did. But Stuart Skinner's your number one guy. And they were talking about he played 60 games this year or 59 games for the Oilers, and he had a 14-game win streak. And I think Chris Knobloch said, okay, Cal, you've done your job. You came in, you kept us above water for a couple of games, but he's a career backup, and we're going to go with our number one guy, and hopefully he can just put 2 games together, and we can move on to the next round. They still got Jack Campbell. You look at what a mistake that was. Stuart Skinner's got another year left at 2.6. And Jack Campbell's got 2 more years left at $5 million a year.
Crazy.
And it is crazy. But Stuart Skinner's their guy, and I can understand why he'd go with him. And the Canucks really didn't pressure him enough to take advantage of it. And now Stuart Skinner's got to feel good about it. They only let in 1 goal, and they're moving on to Game 7. And I'm sure he's thinking, okay, I won 1 in a row. So now all I have to do is win another 1 in a row.
Okay, John, I asked you on Friday, but I don't care. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to give you a Demko update. He skated today. He took shots from the extras, the Black Ace, not the Black Aces, but the healthy scratches. You know he's going to want the extra players. You know he's going to.
The extras. I was always part of that group and politically correct.
That's why we have you on.
Woo, Rick.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, the extras, the healthy extras.
They were shooting on Demko today. The extras. Read all about it, John. You know he's gonna want to play, John. You know deep down he is. He looked good earlier today on the ice. He hasn't had the full practice, but can they get him ice tomorrow? Ahead of Monday. We don't know if these are things happening behind the scenes, I presume. What's your gut saying, Demko or Silovs, if Demko says, I'm ready?
It's a lot easier after tonight's game. 5 goals on 23 shots.
Yep.
He made some good saves, but he didn't make the saves that he has been making. If I'm coaching, I'm throwing Thatcher in for Game 7.
Oh, wow.
But I'm not. I'm obviously not coaching. But if I'm coaching, that's what I'm doing. I'm going with my guy, and Thatcher. Here you go. You got one game. You're back, and the Oilers now. You look at a new goaltender. It's different. Artur Silovs plays a certain way, and Thatcher plays a certain way, and Thatcher's year that he had, Vezina candidate, I think I would go with Thatcher. If I was doing it, if I'm Ian Clark and I'm advising Rick Tocchet, and if I'm Rick Tocchet, I'm choosing Thatcher Demko for Game 7.
You know, Vancouver beat Edmonton with 3 games left in the regular season in Edmonton. That's why they're playing Game 7 on Monday in Vancouver. Can you look ahead for us?
Guess who the goalie was then, Rick? Guess who the goalie was then?
Casey DeSmith.
Casey DeSmith. You're going to go with him?
And he can't get anywhere near the crease, John. He can't get anywhere near the crease. Just talk about Game 7 and the importance of Vancouver being at home. I mean, they're going to have the crowd. They're going to have the energy. They're going to have the passion in the seats. That's for sure.
Yeah, and that's why you play the 82 games. And I really think, and I know you hate to think that the officials are influenced by the crowd, but the crowd does help the officials make calls. That's part of the home field advantage is they make sure that the officials notice every infraction. I think that's one of the things. And it kind of, I thought to myself in this game, okay, the Oilers took the first 2 penalties in the first period. And then Nikita Zadorov, you know that the refs are looking for anything to start evening it out. And he took that penalty. And fortunately, the penalty killers were good, and they killed off all the power plays. But you have to pay attention to time, score, and how the penalties are going, and make sure that you're not going to even it up with a silly one.
Quinn Hughes, over 26 minutes of ice time, John. Do you think he's banged up? Do you think he's feeling it from the Nashville series, where he took a lot of punishment?
They're really close. Like you watch now when he tries that spinorama move, when he tries to spin away from the check, the Oilers now are stopping, and instead of circling, they just stop with them. And especially when they forecheck, I remember all the coverage that I used to do when it was Ray Bourque, and they'd always throw it in his corner early in the series so that they could grind him down. And then by the end of the series, he wouldn't be trying to do as much. And I think that's what the Oilers' strategy is to just grind Quinn as much as they can. It's hard to do. He is so good. But now you just watch when he tries that in the offensive zone at the blue line, tries that little button hook. Yeah. They just stay right with him. They don't look to the other defensemen. They stay right with Quinn.
Does Evan Bouchard give you Al McInnes vibes? Big shot from the right-hander at the point.
Yes, he does, and he makes smart plays. Like he makes good offensive long outlet passes, and he's like Quinn, that he's not afraid to carry it out of his own zone too. It's not everything off the glass and out.
Beautiful. Fabulous as always, John. Thanks so much for this.
Yes, we'll do it on holiday Monday, and then hopefully after that.
Yeah.
No holidays for broadcasters. You know that, John. Come on.
Well, some. If you're being honored at a Hall of Fame dinner, then you get the next day off. Isn't
Thank you.
The Paul Carson, what did Paul Carson call it?
The buffer day. A buffer day.
A bumper day.
Yeah.
You had a Paul Carson bumper day.
Yeah. He invented that term. The other way to get some time off, which we can all relate to, is to get laid off.
Yeah.
So, well, hopefully that's not coming soon.
Yeah. We're leading the league in that category, John.
Yes, myself included.
Oh, yes.
Thanks for this, Cheech. We'll talk to you on Monday.
Okay, talk to you later.
Okay, I appreciate it.